Welcome to Healing Your Family Legacy, here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. Innovative, evidence-based recovery that helps to identify intergenerational trauma, allowing for freedom and embracement of the healing process. Today, episode 157, The 90-Day Rule for Dating, Part 3. And now your host, Dr. Donna Bevan-Lee.
Welcome to Heal Your Family Legacy. This is Dr. Donna Bevan-Lee, and welcome to my show. Today, I want to pick up where I left off last time about the 90-day rule. It's interesting because I've been talking about this 90-day rule for about 30 years, and it's always a curiosity to me and interesting to me how people manage to bend the rules or try and outsmart the rules, or, question how about if I just, go 60 days, or whatever. And I just wanted to reiterate, based on some emails that I received, and one phone call I received about the 90-day rule from someone that I knew a long, long time ago. And that is that the question is, after 90 days, and we're all still, excited about each other and all that, now can we have sex? Okay, so I hope that people who are actually dating on that level are functional adults, right? I am not the person who's going to tell you when you have sex. I mean, that's a little over the top. What I am saying, though, is, and what I want to reiterate, is that after the 90 days have passed, what you and your, love person is, looking at is, what are the things I don't like here? Now, it's not about, 90 days, let's go jump into bed. No, you can do that if you want to. I am not the sex police. What I'm saying is that there are always going to be things that bother you for, for your life experience with your partner. And one of the saddest things and most destructive things that I have noticed when I'm working with couples is that they usually knew these things that drove them crazy before they ever said I do, or before they ever got sexually, emotionally, physically intimate. And what most people did, and most people do, is they say, well, it'll change. Or, they don't know about it yet, so I'll just tell them about it and then they'll change. And it's not going to be that way. It will not change. Now, is that because people are not capable of changing? Absolutely not. I've spent my whole life seeing people change and grow and become really functional, responsible adults. Okay, it's not hard to be a functional adult. It's kind of a relief. Yeah, I saw a T-shirt that said, something about I'm trying to be a functional adult or something like that. And it's like, if you're trying to be a functional adult, then you're probably not a functional adult. It's not, you don't have to try and do this. It's a growth process. And so when you're looking at, getting a partner, or, going out and dating and doing the 90-day rule, you need to be thinking about this in your adult reality. Saying to yourself things like, just because, in the morning, I don't want to talk for an hour, is that something I want to change? If it's something I personally want to change, and I see some value in changing that, well, okay, I might go on a journey in my life to try to change that. But maybe I like to reflect, or maybe I like to meditate, or maybe I like to have a cup of coffee before I open my mouth. It may be something that I haven't mentioned, but that is all about you. And you think, if my partner wants me to change this, is it important enough for me to change it? Or is it something that I'll just say, yeah, I'm not going to change that? So you see, if you haven't taken the time to notice the things that you don't like about this person that you already know you have things in common. You already know that you're attracted, or you still wouldn't be there after 90 days. Those aren't the things that are going to sink or swim this marriage or this relationship. The things that will sink it are the things that you notice that you just ignore. I had a woman once saying, I know the 90-day rule. And one of my problems is that when my red flag goes up and I go, oh, that's a red flag, I just turn it green automatically. I just go, oh, well, it's okay. Or it's really a green flag. It's not. And so, the reason she was there was because she got tired of going through all of these relationships that were failing because she refused to see the red flags. And sometimes she'd maybe not turn them green, maybe she'd turn them yellow. But hey, look at those red flags and say, is this really something that will work for me? And, when I say work for me, I mean, this is going to be part of your growth. And it's a big growth, okay? So you've identified 5 things. It doesn't need to be rule breakers, okay, or, relationship breakers or anything else. It might be just, how they chew their food or how they are in the morning. I already mentioned that. Or what time they prefer to go to bed at night, or how they drive. That's a big one, right? I've never seen anybody change the way they drive because their partner's over there telling them, stop doing that. It doesn't work. And so you identify those things, and your growth is to say, there are good things in this relationship, and I want to take it to the next level. We want to take it to the next level. Here are these 5 things that I don't really care for. Say, I'm gonna name some, okay? I don't like the way he or she drives. I don't like the fact that he or she doesn't talk in the morning for at least an hour. I don't like that they don't drink hot beverages. They always just drink cold beverages. Whatever. I don't like that they refer to children as rugrats. I don't like that he or she refuses to hold my hand out in public. There's 5. Now, the question I'm going to ask myself, which is really my growth, can I just embrace these things and know that that's part of what makes them them? Is it going to cause me physical harm? Is it going to cause me long-term psychiatric problems? Okay? Or is it just me wanting them to be more who I want them to be? Now, this is a question that requires you to really search yourself and your values. Okay? And if you decide, no, I think I can just embrace these things. Not really rule breakers. They just feel like nails on the blackboard. Okay? And when I say embrace it, I'm talking about saying to yourself, I know this person well enough after 3 months. We've spent tons of time together. I know their family, whatever, right? It's like, I know that if this is it, if these are the big problems, I'm going to say, I knew about this and I embraced it. And so what that means to me is that I just shut up about it. I'm never going to bring it up again. Now, I think it's okay to bring it up once before you make that decision. You say to that person, I don't like that you call children rugrats. I don't like that you don't speak for an hour in the morning. I don't like the way you drive, and these are the things I don't like. I don't like when you go to bed, and I don't like that you don't hold my hand in public. I wish you'd go to bed more, earlier. I wish you'd hold my hand in public. I wish that you'd refer to children as children. I would prefer that you didn't tailgate people and swear at people on the road when you drive. And, it's like you say these things to them and you say, but if you don't do anything about these things, unless it's, harmful to my health, I am going to embrace them and know that they're about you and not about me. And that if you choose to make those changes, I'll be aware that that's your decision, not mine. In the meantime, I still like being in this relationship. I enjoy our time together. I want to take it to the next level, whatever you decide that to be. And, if you're doing the 90-day rule, the next level is we can hold hands. We can hug. We can kiss. It's like that's the next level. But if you're doing the 90-day rule, because you're not being sexual at all. So you take it to the next level and you get to decide, is this really okay for me? These things I don't like. Because whether or not they change, not my business. That'd be a boundary failure, boundary issue. Not my business. I've told them now, unless, and I've said to myself, I'm embracing it. So that means I shut up about it. Now, I will say this, and there's always a if we're driving in the car and you're really driving dangerously, in my opinion, you're screaming at people, you're darting in and out of cars, we're on a freeway, I'm going to ask you to chill, or I will just say, maybe I should drive for a while because, I don't want to end up dead, right? But you can also say that. I'm going to just be quiet about the way you drive unless you are being so aggressive that it scares me and I feel unsafe. Is that okay with you? And they say, well, yeah, that's okay with me. Or they say, when I'm driving, you're quiet. Red flag. Okay? I'm willing to embrace that unless it's really scaring me. And then I'll say something about it. I'll make a suggestion, but I'm not being naggy about it. And I am going to embrace it. We're not alike. So you might even say that's one of the 5 things, and it's not really a bottom line breaker for me, but I'd like it to be out there in the event that I feel afraid. And that's me being an adult. The rest of the time, I'm just sitting there doing my deal and you do what you got to do, right? If you can really embrace that, it's probably a good sign that you're growing, that you're becoming a more functional adult. Because we know, and if you don't believe me, just take a look around. How many times have people changed because you've told them to or asked them to? I mean, I remember once when I said to somebody, don't talk to me about that because it upsets me and I have no need for it. And I don't want, it's like once I hear it, I can't unhear it. And I do this as a therapist. I have to hear things that I don't want to hear, but you're not my client and I don't need to hear it. So if you continue to talk about that, I will have to leave. Now, that's just basic consequence. But people do not change because you want them to. They don't change because you hope they will. They don't change because somehow they've read your mind. But when you're doing the 90-day rule, you think of it in terms of, before I take this relationship to the next level, I want to share the 5 things that I've noticed about you that I don't really like. But with that exception of the driving thing, these other things I'm willing to go with and know that you're just being you and it's not about me and it's not about whether you like me or not. It's really just me trying to grow. Because when you accept other people for who they are, unless you feel unsafe, when you just accept that people are who they are, you just don't have to stress so much about wishing that they would change. Because while you're over there wishing they would change, is that old saying, I'm over here drinking poison, expecting you to die. Because I'll be stressed so much, wishing you would change. You're over there doing what you do. You're not stressing out. It's me. And we all know that stress is harmful and damaging, not just to our psychic self, but to our physical self. And that's why it's so important. If you go forward in a relationship with somebody you don't like what they do, you haven't shared it, you haven't done this little exercise, you can't, you're lying to yourself. Oh, yeah, it's like, I'm sure I can just embrace that. And then you can't. Now, every time they do that thing, you're going to be going, oh, there that is again. Now, there he or she is calling children rugrats. That's so disrespectful. La, 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 la. And I am stressing out. My blood pressure is going up. And they're over there calling children rugrats, and then they don't care. And neither do the children. It's you. We have to be able to identify our own selves. Remember, way back, and I'll cover this again, boundaries are a simple task. We make it so complicated. It isn't complicated at all. Boundaries are a system that you prescribe for yourself that is about self-containment. It isn't me telling you how you should be to make me happy. You'll notice when I even talked about this friend of mine who I just said, I don't want to hear about this anymore. I didn't tell him to stop. I said, I don't want to hear about this anymore. And you can keep talking about this if you want, but that means that I'll be leaving because I don't want to hear about this anymore. I can't unhear it. I don't want to know about it. There's nothing I can do. So that's just a consequence. And guess what? If I leave, that means that I might lose a friendship, but I have to think about that and make that decision. So boundaries, self-containment, me knowing me. And, you can always ask people to change. I could say, I really like it if you would start calling children children and not rugrats. I've made my request. Now I need to be quiet about it. And if it continues to trouble me, If I've done the 90-day rule and I've decided to embrace it, that means that I've just got to figure out a way to get okay with this. Not I need to find a way to make you change to be more the way I want you to be. If you think about it, how would you like somebody telling you you need to change that, or I wish you wouldn't do that, or it's like, I'm out of the house. If that's happening to me, this isn't a dress rehearsal. I don't need to be meeting everybody's needs. Once I'm away from work, it's my life. I'm not there to meet everybody's needs. I'm not there to accommodate, their problems with me. I try to be a responsible adult human being, and, I have my quirks, but we all do. But I don't hurt people. I don't offend people. Not on purpose, for sure. And I'm open to hearing feedback. Yeah, it's so funny. I say that, I tell people that. It's like, here's the deal, and I'm open to hearing feedback. If I'm doing something or saying something that you absolutely do not like, just tell me what it is, and I'll decide whether or not I want to change that. So when you are talking to this person that you want to take to the next level, you're saying, here are things that I don't like. This one thing I want to keep open, but I'm willing to embrace that we're not alike that way. If you would tell me or give me permission to say something when I feel frightened while you're driving, we can just be fine. But if I just decide, well, I'm just that driving thing, I don't like it. It scares me sometimes. Well, I'll just tell her when I'm scared. It's important to ask permission. Can I give you feedback about that? Because unless you get permission, they're not listening. Does that happen for you? If somebody wants to tell you, oh, you need to change your hair because it looks stupid. Are you just going to listen to that? No. You'd probably be offended by that. But if they say it this way, I have some feedback for you about your new haircut. Can I give you that feedback? And they say, no, I don't want to hear about it. It will grow out, or what? I don't want to hear about it. I like it. Say, okay. And then But if they say, sure, I'm open for feedback. It's a new do. And I just want to know how it comes across. And I might say, I liked it better the other way. Or you might say, I think, blah, blah, blah. I heard someone say once, I don't think that old women should have long hair. It's like, I heard someone say that once. So they might say that. But ask permission to give feedback. When you're telling someone those 5 things, and there's one that you want to have some room, ask permission. I'm good with it if you will give me permission to say something when I'm feeling unsafe in the car or the truck with you. Yeah, I think that's really respectful myself. So, if you have determined that you can embrace those 5 things, they have determined that they can embrace those 5 things, then you're probably ready to take it to the next level. And like I said before, the next level isn't let's jump into bed and consummate this situation. No, the next level is, well, let's hug a little, let's kiss a little, we can now be in each other's house and watch movies or have dinner together in each other's house. We don't have to keep it always public. And going from there as functional adults, I always say, think about what you have told to your teenagers about how to go forward in a relationship? Do you tell them, well, if you really like each other and just like really attracted to each other, why don't you just have sex? I realize that some people say that, but I know that most people don't. I mean, I've sat in my office way too long and listened to this to know that most people will tell their kids, hold off, wait till you know them. How about wait till you are old enough to make decisions? But, if you're an adult, you're obviously old enough. But you would never say, well, now you're 21, you do whatever you want. You say, you really want to know who you're with. You want to know what they're like. You want to know what their family's like. You want to know how their family treats them, how their family would treat you. What are their traditions? Are these things you feel like you can fit into? Do you share the same values? Because we all know that, and if you think that you're not one of these people, you really don't want to be in a situation where you are now dealing with an unwanted pregnancy. Whether or not you want to, end that pregnancy, or whether or not you want to have a child, changes everything. So you want to be old enough to know how to manage that, what it means. You want to be in charge of your own life. So I would say to you, keep your boundaries intact. Self-containment, such a cool thing. You don't have to tell anybody else to do anything. It's just between you and yourself. Self-containment. I'm embracing these 5 things. I've got this one thing I have permission for if I need to say something. I think we can take it to the next level. There you have it. 3 months is not going to be a huge waiting period. It's not a waiting period. You're trying to get to know this person. And hopefully they're trying to get to know you. If they're not trying to get to know you, you might want to look at that too. Okay, well, best of luck in the dating world, and I'll let you know if I get any more feedback about this or questions, because it's always a hot topic.
Thank you for listening to Healing Your Family Legacy here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. This channel is made possible because of listeners just like you. If you would like to support the channel with your tax-deductible contribution on an ongoing basis or through a one-time gift, head over to experienceofthesoul.com/support. Healing Your Family Legacy is copyright 2024, Dr. Donna Bevan-Lee, all rights reserved. Our theme music is composed by Dave Croft and used with permission. The Experience of the Soul podcast channel is a production of 818 Studios.
Hey friends, Sean here, your Experience of the Soul producer. I want to take a moment to tell you about something truly exciting. The SoulWorks online community, created by your host, Cynthia Alice Anderson, and available on the Mighty Networks app. If you're looking for a place where you can explore your spiritual path, connect with others, and grow in a meaningful way, then this is for you. SoulWorks is so much more than an online community. It's a safe, inclusive space for spiritual exploration, self-discovery, and personal transformation. Inside the community, you'll find everything from uplifting spiritual studies to soul-centered growth practices, meditations, affirmations, and so much more. It's a space where you'll always be supported and never judged. The best part, membership is free. You'll have access to powerful resources, inspiring content, and a supportive group of like-minded people who are all on their own unique spiritual journeys. And if you're ready to dive deeper, there are premium options available to enhance your experience with a live Monday night talk series and extended, deeper meditations. If you're seeking a place to connect, grow, and nurture your soul, we would love to have you join us in the SoulWorks community. and see where this journey can take you. Visit my.soulworkscommunity.com today.